But what I found is authenticity is almost always what works, right? Being authentic and helping them have the conversations will win. So what do you believe is the most valuable leadership lesson you picked up on your time on this earth?
I think being honest up front, right? Managing expectations.
Honesty up front, managing expectations. And that's for everybody, right? Both up and down. Yeah,
I think
good.
that's our job. I think that's our job as senior enlisted leaders, right? Everybody's got to hear the truth, no
Yep.
matter how ugly it is.
I had another guy I had a conversation with the other day, and he says, Gary, I don't got no problem saying yes to my boss as long as they understand the cost. We can
Yeah.
do almost anything. Are you ready to pay the cost? This is
Yes,
what it's going
if.
to cost to get there.
Not a no,
Yeah.
but it's a yes, if.
What is the biggest leadership challenge you see facing people today?
I think just the unknown and everything that's going on, right? People are people, right? I don't think these young sailors are any different than what we were. I think it's just programs are always changing. Things are always being added. We don't know today what's going to change tomorrow, and it's rapid pace.
And that's the job, right? That's life. I even tell that to the students. Like I tell the students, if you're not exhausted going to high school, you're not doing it right. Like high school is not supposed to be easy too. It's supposed to be challenging.
Yeah.
And take, because I feel like if you're living a life where you're just always like, oh my God, my life is so great, and you're not a little bit tired, I don't feel like you're trying hard enough to live your life and be.
I tell my teenagers now, if you don't develop good habits now, when are you going to?
Oh, bar. And the next question I was going to ask you was, how can parents use leadership skills to better connect with their teenagers, right? Because
I struggle with that, Gary. I'm going to tell you right now, and I've talked to my wife. Sometimes I feel like I'm easier on the seaman that works for me than I am on kids, right?
that's the challenge. That's the challenge, Jeff. I'm with you. That's the challenge. We're so used to taking young Americans and turning them into warfighters, sailors, professional mariners that go to sea, right? And then our children are not that.
Yeah.
And it's hard, man. My Erica's had to put me back in the box many times and be like, he's not a sailor. Like, he's not one of your people there. But everything you just said, I think is, for me, is exactly what works. And I will tell you, now that I'm in this position where I'm teaching high school kids, God, they are freaking motivators, bro. Yeah. They get after it. And my son is the CMC this year of my battalion, and it's stiff competition. And that competition has made him better, right? It's made him better. But then high school's over, and what are you going to do next, right? Here we go. We got to figure that part out.
Yep.
Okay. If you knew somebody struggling in an organization, like for example, with a department head they don't get along with, and they're yelling at each other on the first day, right? And now you've been an XO of a command, right? So you've got a few different perspectives of how to look at this now. You've been a senior enlisted leader, you've been an XO, you've been a departmental CPO. What advice would you give to a person struggling?
I think. You mean how would I get them to come together better as a team, or just on an individual basis?
On an individual basis, what would you tell that person individually to help them get through that time?
I think just remember their why, right? Because I think just remember your why. Remember, everybody is coming from a place of wanting it to be successful, right? I've only ever met one person that just openly said they wanted it to fail, right? I've never met anybody that didn't want it to be the best they could possibly make it. Right. And I think if you can approach it that way with whoever you're having conflict with and have those conversations, I think it'll help a lot. Right. And you may never like each other. You may never come to agree on how things are going to go. But I've had to learn that, sometimes I got to let other people influence it.
Yeah. It doesn't always got to be you.